Precisely 6:45. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lal Mallavarachi and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. Sri Lanka has recorded 12.3% economic growth rate for the second quarter this year. Oil exploration using aircrafts begins for the first time in Sri Lanka. Schools with less than 200 students will be reopened soon. 1,000 Sri Lankan youth will be provided with job opportunities in Japan. The tally of coronavirus infections confirmed in the country is nearing 500,000. World Ozone Day is celebrated today. In foreign news, UK, US and Australia launch pact to counter China. Sports, the World Anti-Doping Agency is to review whether cannabis should remain a banned substance. Local news in detail now. The Department of Census and Statistics says Sri Lanka has recorded 12.3% economic growth rate for the second quarter of 2021. A contraction of 16.4% was recorded in the same period last year due to the outbreak of COVID pandemic. The country has achieved 21.1% growth in agriculture sector during the second quarter. Industrial service sector has recorded 7.5% growth. The Department of Census and Statistics further says that there was a business-conducive environment in the country in the said period this year. Petroleum oil exploration using aircrafts began recently for the first time in Sri Lanka. World-famous British company Bell Geospace initiated this exploration move in the Kaveri Basin in Mannar. This is carried out through the system of gravitational magnetic fields. Energy Minister Udaya Gammampila had recently claimed the existence of $267 billion of oil and gas resources under the country's seas. The report of technical committee appointed to analyze the possibility of recommencing schools will be submitted to the President and the COVID-19 Preventive Presidential Task Force tomorrow. Specialist Dr. Anuruddha Padania says the report will contain expert comments and recommendations with regard to opening of schools. The schools are expected to commence in 3 stages. Under the first stage, the schools with less than 200 students will be considered for reopening in near future. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news. We move on with more stories here at home. 1,000 Sri Lankan youth will be provided with job opportunities in Japan. Sri Lankan Ambassador to Japan, Sanjit Gunasekara, said that the jobs will be provided in the agriculture sector. An MOU in this regard will be signed within 2 weeks. The Minister of Agriculture, Mahindananda Alutkamage, expressed his gratitude to the Ambassador of Sri Lanka in Japan for intervening to provide these job opportunities for Sri Lankan youth. The minister said that the young people who are selected for these job opportunities will have to undergo required language training and other relevant training requirements in collaboration with the Bureau of Foreign Employment. The epidemiology unit of the Health Ministry reported that 2,314 more people were tested positive for COVID-19 in Sri Lanka yesterday, moving the tally of coronavirus infections confirmed in the country to 496,423. Official data showed that more than 57,400 active cases are currently under medical care. Total recoveries from the virus infection reached 427,254 yesterday, as 11,605 more patients were discharged from medical care. Meanwhile, Sri Lanka registered 132 new COVID-related fatalities confirmed by the Director General of Health Services on Tuesday, pushing the official death toll from the virus outbreak in Sri Lanka to 11,699. That's local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
World Ozone Day is celebrated today. Being a party to the Montreal Protocol on substances that deplete the ozone layer, Sri Lanka is committed both nationally and internationally to implement its obligations for conserving the life-saving ozone layer. The Ministry of Environment serves as the national focal point in Sri Lanka for the implementation of Montreal Protocol obligations. The National Ozone Unit of the Ministry carries out the activities set out for achieving the objectives of the protocol. Sri Lanka commemorates this day annually on the 16th of September. The main objective of this year is to raise awareness about the actions that are being taken by the Ministry of Environment and all the stakeholders in order to protect the ozone layer and the development of technologies together with spreading the idea of ozone science. Considering the prevailing pandemic, the national event for World Ozone Day 2021 is organized virtually via Zoom platform at 10 a.m. today with a global theme, Montreal Protocol, Keeping Us, Our Food and Vaccines Cool. The event will be held under the patronage of Minister Mahinda Amaravira with the participation of Dr. Anil Jasinga, Secretary to the Ministry.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watch Light.
The National Water Supply and Drainage Board says facilities have been made for the public to pay their water bills from their houses through the Self-Care or Smart app of the board. General Manager of the board, Thilina S. Wijayatunga, says that payment facilities have also been made for the public to pay their bills by entering the waterboard.lk website. He said the daily consumption of water has been increased during the quarantine curfew period. He stresses that it is the responsibility of the consumers to pay their water bills without any shortage to certify their continuous water supply. In addition, the public can pay their bills through post offices, state and private banks also.
World News.
World News headlines: UK, US and Australia launch pact to counter China. Prime Minister Johnson fires Gavin Williamson as he rings UK cabinet changes. Amateur astronauts set for SpaceX orbital flight. World News in detail now. The UK, US and Australia have announced a special security pact to share advanced defence technologies in an effort to counter China. The partnership will enable Australia to build nuclear-powered submarines for the first time. The pact, to be known as AUKUS, will also cover artificial intelligence, quantum technologies and cyber. The three countries are worried about China's growing power and military presence in the Indo-Pacific. Boris Johnson has fired a string of cabinet ministers and promoted new faces to replace them in a major reshuffle. The Prime Minister sacked under fire Education Secretary Gavin Williamson and moved Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab to the Justice Department. Chancellor Rishi Sunak and Home Secretary Priti Patel keep their jobs, but there are promotions for Liz Truss, who goes to the Foreign Office, and Nadine Dorries, who gets culture. Finally on World News, 4 amateur astronauts are about to launch into orbit in another landmark mission for space tourism. It's the latest flight to help open up access for space for paying customers following on from launches by Richard Branson and Jeff Bezos. The trip has been paid for by US billionaire businessman Jared Isaacman, who will travel with 3 crewmates. A healthcare worker, a science educator, and a data analyst will circle the Earth with Mr. Isaacman for 3 days. That's on World News. Moving on to development news now. The government has paid attention to establish multi-purpose transport centres in Colombo and suburban areas. The objective of this move is to minimize the traffic congestion. A project to develop Greater Colombo Road network is now being implemented. Around 1.9 million are arriving to the Colombo city daily, and nearly 600,000 vehicles are also arriving daily. Therefore, the government has taken measures to establish stable road network to the transport sector.
Sports news.
And on to sports news. The South African wicket-keeper batter Quinton de Kock accumulated 153 runs in the T20 series in Sri Lanka at an average of 153 and a healthy strike rate of 121.42. His solid display has seen his jump 4 places to the 8th spot in the latest ICC Men's T20 International rankings for batters. His fellow opener, Reza Hendricks, who was the second highest run scorer in the series with 112 runs, moved up the batting charts and broke into the top 20. Kusal Perera was one of the few bright spots in the series for Sri Lanka. He made an instant impact upon his return, scoring 69 runs in 2 matches and jumped 10 places to number 39. The World Anti-Doping Agency is to review whether cannabis should remain a banned substance. The move follows American sprinter Sha'Carri Richardson missing the Tokyo Olympics after testing positive for the substance in June. The 21-year-old later revealed she had used cannabis to help cope with the death of her biological mother. WADA said the scientific review will begin next year and that cannabis will remain prohibited in 2022. That's on Sports News.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are. Download the NSB Pay app from the Play Store or the App Store for free now. For more information, call your nearest NSB branch or 0112 379 379. Conditions apply.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
And on business news, Lanka Satasa sells turmeric powder at reasonable prices from today. Accordingly, a 100-gram pack of turmeric powder will be sold at 200 rupees. State Minister Janaka Vakumbara says that turmeric stock smuggled in from India is being sold at a lower price.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Sri Lanka's gross domestic product grew 12.3% in the June 2021 quarter from a low base in 2020 when the economy contracted 16.4% in the worst fall recorded history amid a coronavirus lockdown, the state statistics office said. Agriculture grew 8.1% and industry grew 22.1% and services 7.5%. Despite the double-digit growth, GDP at constant prices at 2.17 trillion was a little below the 2.312 trillion in 2019. In nominal terms, GDP was 3.626 trillion, higher than the 3.589 in 2019.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in Sabaragamu, western, central and northwestern provinces and in Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places elsewhere in the evening or night. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in Sabaragamu, western and central provinces and in Galle and Mathura districts. That's the weather update, and heading back to the headlines before we wind up this bulletin of news. Sri Lanka has recorded 12.3% economic growth rate for the second quarter this year. Oil exploration using aircrafts begins for the first time in Sri Lanka. Schools with less than 200 students will be reopened soon. 1,000 Sri Lankan youth will be provided with job opportunities in Japan. The tally of coronavirus infections confirmed in the country is nearing 500,000. World Ozone Day is celebrated today. In foreign news, UK, US and Australia launched pact to counter China. Sports, the World Anti-Doping Agency is to review whether cannabis should remain a banned substance. With that, we conclude this bulletin of news.